You're listening to Certify It, the podcast for advancing your career in care, powered by the Mason Center for Healthcare Education. Hear news, updates, and discussions from thought leaders in healthcare around advancing your career through continuing education. And now, here's your host, Doug Bryant from the Mason Center.
Welcome to Certify It, the podcast for advancing your career in care. My name is Doug Bryant, and I will be your host today. This podcast is brought to you by the Mason Center for Healthcare Education right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Today, my guest is one of my favorite people in the entire world. I'm going to do full disclosure. I'm completely biased when I tell you she is one of my favorite people in the entire world. Lavonda Cantrell, the vice president of the Hillcrest Foundation. And I don't just say that because they help fund us. I'm just saying that because if you ever met her, you would know how great she is. So thank you, Lavonda, for joining us today. Again, this is your second time on the podcast. So we may have to do like frequent flyer jackets like they do on The Voice or something.
Yes, I
Mason
think we
Center.
should. And I know that you're the host, but I can't help but to ask you, like, we haven't spoken in a few months. How are you feeling? Like, this is so exciting. The Mason Center is doing so great. The students just coming through. It's just expanding. And I'm just so happy for you and your team. So.
Well, thank you. This week has been one of those crazy ones. We had a medication aid class start this week. We have a CNA class running concurrently with that. And we have about 10 students in some general education classes for one of our partners. So yeah, today, if you hear anything in the background, some of the students are still in the classrooms right now as we're recording this. So it's been kind of crazy, but it's been a good way. It's been a good way. It's actually taken off more than we ever could imagine. Barry came in the other day and he's like, what is going on? There's no parking in the parking lot. So that was a good thing.
And you're like, we'll take the blame for that.
Yeah.
We will take the blame for that. It's our students.
I said that just means I'm doing what we're supposed to do.
Exactly. The mission and vision is coming to life. I love it.
So today we wanted to really focus on the foundation itself. And tell us a little bit about how the foundation was formed, what it's for, and where this passion came from to giving back to the community.
Well, Doug, and you know this, but those listening to us, we're local to Knoxville. So I feel like it's very important for us to talk about that we're really in touch with what the needs are in our local community, especially when it comes to workforce and educational opportunities surrounding healthcare. We have a very supportive board of directors that is also very focused on the community needs and giving back. And that's why we do what we do. I mean, we've been serving Knoxville, Hillcrest Healthcare has, for over 60 years. And we specialize in serving seniors. And we realize that it is so important for us to focus on serving the needs of others and providing great educational opportunities and just giving back to make a difference every single day in the lives of others. And that's what we specialize in. And that's what we do best, I think. So.
Well, I know that in a previous episode, we talked a little bit about how the Mason Center for Healthcare Education was founded and how this happened, but we really didn't go into detail about how the foundation ended up being a part of that. And it really all started with Chloe.
Yes.
So do you want to tell that story a little bit about how Chloe was able to really help us figure this out a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. I'll never forget this opportunity because Chloe Hurst was the first scholarship that we funded through the foundation since I've been the vice president. And so it was just an amazing day. Chloe worked as an activity assistant at our Island Home community. She'd been there for many years. She was an outstanding employee. The administrator, Trudy, contacted us about giving her an opportunity to get her CNA license. Through COVID, she realized how important that was. She did not feel like that she had the skills that she needed during COVID to really be able to get in there and do more hands-on work with the residents. So she just had a passion for it. And so the foundation was able to support her financially, provide scholarship to her, and she got her CNA license through that. And then as all of part of that, discussions with you and Barry Davis, our president, that's really how the Mason Center was born. I mean, that's what we should be all about, right? Is giving our own employees opportunities. I mean, I think about that all the time. we are here because someone gave us an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about. So that's really how it happened. And now the most awesome thing is Chloe, is still working as a CNA at Island Home years later. And she's going back to school through a partnership that we have with South College to get her LPN license. So it's just a full circle, amazing story of how you can really, really impact someone's life when you give them a pathway and guidance and believe in them and encourage them. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, she truly is the epitome of the phrase that we use around here a lot, continuing your career in care.
Yes.
She's climbing the ladder of responsibility
Yes.
in healthcare, and just being a small part of that is exciting to watch.
It is.
One thing that I get so excited about when we talk about the Mason Center and what sets us apart and how we're different is all of our instructors have senior care experience. All the certifications we have can be used in any healthcare setting. So we're not just, pigeonholing ourselves into that senior care world, but that's where our passion is.
Yes. Yes.
But one thing that we really try to do is not just teach the skills, but cultivate the passion that they come in to class with for caring for other people, especially those in the senior community.
Yes.
Because those are the people like the Chloes of the world that will continue to be here serving even when times get really tough.
Exactly.
Even when, you have one of those days that you're like, why in the world am I doing this? If you don't have that passion and you don't have somebody there to help cultivate that and really cheer you on through that process, it's hard to continue making it. And,
yes.
Here at the Mason Center for Healthcare Education, one thing that I really pride ourselves on is we're not teaching just skills, we're teaching culture.
Yes.
We're
exactly.
teaching the culture of senior care.
Yes.
And why it matters.
Yes. We're teaching the future servants in healthcare, the future of our seniors, the future of, it's wonderful. And you're right. It's so important. Culture is everything.
So how have you seen the need for caregivers change over the last couple of years through COVID? And how do you think the Mason Center for Healthcare Education can support that?
Well, we were directly impacted, in our 3 skilled nursing communities when COVID hit. A lot of our long-term CNAs ended up retiring early out of fear of the unknown. Even during that time, as we know, if those that stayed with us, it was just trying times. They were dealing with, not only are you dealing with an unknown disease, but you're dealing with all of this pressure from the state and government and new standards and just scary, scary times. So we really saw a mass exodus of, healthcare workers, and specifically when it comes to caregivers. And so again, that's really where the Mason Center came in and realized that, hey, this is something that is directly impacting our community. It's directly impacting our 3 skilled nursing communities. It's directly impacting our local hospitals, our home health care agencies, hospice agencies. Everyone is impacted. And so, again, we stepped up and created programs that were accessible for individuals, affordable for individuals, and flexible. And it's just been, it's a huge testament to the programs that are offered through the Mason Center. And I just makes me proud thinking about it, honestly.
You're listening to Certify It, the podcast for advancing your career in care, brought to you by Propel Insurance. Find innovative insurance solutions in the toughest risk management environments. Over 500 senior care providers nationwide trust Propel to keep their business thriving. Find your momentum with Propel Insurance.
Well, and now that the Tennessee Higher Education Commission authorization has come through, we're able to not just do that for our own employees, but we're able to actually spread that into the community.
Yes.
Through healthcare partners. We've got a number of them that will have students starting in January, hopefully.
Yes.
And we're able to actually educate other organizations.
Yes.
Through the Mason Center.
And I love that, because you know what's happening with all of that? It's a vision that started with, Hillcrest and the senior leadership team, and the Mason Center was born. And now we're actually getting to share that, grow your own, give your own employees opportunities. That's what we're doing. That's working for us. We're passing on our culture, technically, what we
Yeah.
have built at Hillcrest, and through the Mason Center, and we're expanding that. So it's great.
It's been a real joy to work on, and it just keeps getting better every single day.
Yep.
So the Mason Center for Healthcare Education is just one aspect of what the Hillcrest Foundation does, and we're just off the heels of your biggest fundraiser of the year,
Yes.
the golf tournament that was held at Avalon. So how are you feeling now that that's over?
I still don't know, Doug. I'm still climbing out of that. No. I feel great. We still, everyone's like, oh, how much should you raise? And I mean, if for those that plan big fundraising events, and it was our 5th annual. So like you said, it was the best we'd ever had, record number of golfers, just super amazing. And I'm so thankful for the support. But I'm like, we're still trying to figure out exactly what the totals are, but I should have them within a few days. But yeah, it feels great. I mean, again, just knowing that so many people are behind you and supporting you, and believe in what we're doing here as an organization. It's just, you can't help but to feel great about it. I mean, it's just, we are doing good things. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of golf, did you see what I did there? There was a golf cart at Avalon that, we were able to unveil that one of our other partners, Functional Pathways, had a hand in helping us get for a program that the foundation really unveiled that day at the golf tournament called Mobility as Medicine.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Mobility as Medicine and how that's going to be really a big initiative going forward for the foundation.
Yes, that's really, honestly, Doug, just the past 5 years, the foundation, just historically, I'll kind of backpedal for a second. Um, the foundation had been in retirement for, greater than 10 years. And so when we rebuilt the foundation, that's when COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
But our first event was the golf tournament. And so we've really been, for the past few years, hosting our 3 main events that we do each year, which is the golf tournament, the Knox Rocks benefit concert, and Breakfast with the Grinch, which is coming up soon too. So I'm working on that. But we are really focused on being very intentional with our campaigns and our efforts. And so the Mobility as Medicine is really our very first big campaign that we're going to be focusing on, really starting the end of this year, and hopefully indefinitely, because the whole idea behind that is that mobility can mean a lot of things. We think about mobility as walking around or running, or even using a wheelchair to get around. But mobility is so much more. And mobility, yes, it has the healthcare aspect, but it also has the emotional aspect. Mobility as medicine means that through this campaign, we want to help support individuals by, first of all, maybe gaining access to getting to their physician's office. Maybe it's getting to the grocery store. Maybe it's going to the local senior center to play bingo because they are no longer able to drive and they don't have a mean of transportation. And going back to the golf cart, this is amazing. And just this morning, as a matter of fact, we had a golf cart training. So through with Functional Pathways and the proceeds from the golf tournament, we were able to purchase a wheelchair accessible golf cart, which the Beverly Park team and the Functional Pathways therapy team at Beverly Park saw this morning for the first time. And this golf cart is going to help the residents at Beverly Park gain access to Knoxville's only intergenerational play space.
How cool is that?
It's amazing. And so that's just an example of how this mobility is medicine, a small example, but a big impact in a lot of lives. And so we're so excited. They're going to be able to use the golf cart to get residents down for therapy services. The therapists were so excited about that. Activities, will use it for, again, their activities and emotional well-being and just the whole intergenerational piece of it. Seeing the children play, and the whole reason that the playground was designed was to help encourage and promote all people of all generations and all abilities to be able to interact and work together. And so it's just a beautiful thing. And I'm excited. And I'm even more excited because mobility is medicine. We're just, like I said, we're scraping the surface of what this campaign is going to be and what all is going to be included in that. And so it's going to really make a big impact in a lot of people's lives. So I'm thrilled about where we're headed with that.
Well, and in order for us to continue making impacts like we did with Chloe, like we're trying to do with the seniors at Beverly Park, getting them access to the intergenerational play space, it takes funds to do that.
Yes, it does.
It takes a lot of funds. And hopefully this podcast will be coming out in November, which is automatically the month where everybody thinks about Thanksgiving and gratitude. And, there's probably a lot of our listeners that thankfully don't need the services that a lot of our guests or that Hillcrest provides. And a way of being thankful for that is to giving so that these impacts can continue to be made.
Yes.
In Thanksgiving, a lot of people think of turkey and Black Friday and Cyber Monday and what deal is Amazon going to have. But there's another day that we really want to draw attention to, especially for the foundation, and that's Giving Tuesday.
Yes, Giving Tuesday. I'm going to make sure I don't say the date wrong. I wrote it down. December the 3rd is Giving Tuesday. And this is really a global generosity day and movement. It's like you just said, it's surrounding Thanksgiving and the holidays, and people just want to give back and help support great initiatives that they believe in. And so, and it's so funny what you said earlier, because I wrote down on my paper earlier, in giving we receive. And that's so true. So we encourage everyone to get online. If you look up the Hillcrest Healthcare Foundation through Giving Tuesday, you can support in that way. And we would love to have everyone's support, and every dollar matters. And so that's what we want people to know too, is that, there's no amount too small. And so just, give what you can, and just know that we welcome every bit of it. So,
and for those people that want activity around their giving, we also have your last, I guess, fundraiser of the calendar year coming up.
Yes.
Breakfast with the Grinch, year number 3.
Yeah.
If I'm not
this
wrong.
Is year number 3. Oh my goodness, Doug. It is Saturday, December the 14th at Piney Grove Church in their Family Community Center. It is phenomenal. It's for all ages. So even if you don't have children, it's okay. I had family members drive from Kingsport to join us, and they don't have children. It's okay. Who doesn't love the Grinch? We have 2 coaches catering this year. That's also going to be there cooking a Grinchy breakfast. We'll have pancakes and sausage and the famous hash brown casserole that is to die for. But it's just a fun day. Lots of crafts, and the Grinch himself is phenomenal. It's like he stepped out of the movie. I've never seen anything like it. One of our team members, Lana Ham, she's been with us for many years. She's the staff development coordinator at Beverly Park. She is a phenomenal makeup artist, and it takes over 2.5 hours to get his makeup on.
Oh, wow.
I mean, seriously. So I'm just telling you, for anybody that likes the Grinch, you need to join us. Tickets are only $20, and it's just amazing. You get pictures and crafts and food and fun, and it's worth every bit of it. So.
And limited availability. So anybody that wants to get tickets needs to go quickly.
Yes, it's already on Facebook. Yes, please get on our Facebook page. We've created an event there, and you have to have a reservation. It is reservation only. You have to purchase a ticket. So I'm glad
we will put all of the foundation website and ways that can be given online in the show notes so that people have access to that. Thank you so much for spending time with me this afternoon.
Thank you, Doug.
Usually we're in a conference room somewhere talking about planning or the next thing, but this is so much more fun.
It is. It's
nice to maybe every meeting should just be a podcast.
Maybe it should.
Well, thank you very much
Thanks,
for coming. You all been listening to Certify It, the podcast for advancing your career in care. Thank you, and have a happy holiday.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Certify It by the Mason Center for Healthcare Education. Get connected with us on social media and at themasoncenterknox.com. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this podcast on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast. And if you're interested in sponsorship or donations to help further our cause of providing affordable, flexible healthcare certification programs for individuals seeking career mobility in skilled nursing, senior living, and long-term care fields, visit themasoncenterknox.com.